Shalom, fellow kids. My name is Cody Baynard, and today I'm going to be discussing my thoughts on the new album from Ropes Inside a Hole, aka RIAH, titled A Man and His Nature. This is a post-rock slash metal band from Italy that I have not really been all that aware of until I heard the album's lead single titled Distance through the YouTube channel Where Post Rock Dwells. Shout out to that YouTube channel. That track featured some really melancholic and dark and depressing music within the realms of post-rock and metal that reminded me a little bit of bands such as A Storm with the Sun or Year of No Light. While that song wasn't anything groundbreaking for its style, it was still well written and executed enough for me to feel intrigued to check out the rest of the album. And upon hearing the whole thing, I was genuinely taken aback by how much I ended up really enjoying this thing as a whole. The first half of this album is made up of songs such as Others Are Gone, I Don't Care, and Loss and Grief, which relative to later tracks on the album are somewhat straightforward, for we do have some pretty conventional builds and crescendos, and even the singing does also remind me a lot of other bands such as F or the aforementioned A Storm of the Sun or O Hiroshima, even though I still really love the vocal performances on this record. And along with that, the band do a pretty decent job at still making these builds and crescendos feel emotionally captivating enough to make up for how straightforward and somewhat predictable they can feel. For example, Others Are Gone, I Don't Care utilizes some well-placed acoustic guitar to add a nice touch to the song's second half. And I really love the thick, meaty groove during the crescendo of Loss and Grief. However, I do appreciate the more surprising and adventurous directions that the band go during the album's second half. For example, the song Feet in the Swamp, Gaze to the Sky, interestingly enough, uses some jazzy saxophone work to create this very sexy and intimate atmosphere that also fits in quite nicely with the very melancholic guitar work in the background. After that song's crescendo, it closes out with some really beautiful, really heartfelt, and very hypnotic and spacey ambient post-rock passages that effectively utilize the saxophone as well as some keyboard flourishes and these backing vocal harmonies. And while I was expecting the song to reach yet another explosive crescendo, it doesn't, which I think is a nice little way to subvert expectations to keep things intriguing and engaging. After being hypnotized by the outro of Feet in the Swamp, the following track, titled Overwhelmed, hits you almost right away with these crushing and punishing and exciting progressive post-metal riffs and grooves that would not feel out of place on The Ocean record, for example. This is easily the album's heaviest and most immediate track. However, it does close up with these very heartfelt acoustic passages, which does also effectively tease the more acoustic-driven nature of the album's closing song, which is very fittingly titled Time for Sleep, which is this almost folky ballad number due to the way that it focuses quite a lot more on the acoustic elements than songs leading up to it. And while there definitely are heavier and more explosive moments on this closing track, the overall tone and vibe of it is very mellow and quite frankly also just very sad. And that sense of sadness is heightened by the very dreary and vulnerable vocals, which, like other songs that feature vocals, are performed by Daniel Lothgren, I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, from the band Suffocate for Fuck's Sake. So yeah, overall, really freaking strong stuff. Well, I do wish that the songs on the album's first half were a little bit more adventurous. Overall, the whole thing is very well written, very well executed, and superbly produced. Like, wow. The mastering work, which is done by Magnus Lindberg of Cult of Luna fame, is really top notch. Everything sounds so big, so powerful, it's so full. And when needed during the softer moments, very immersive and intimate. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the latest album from RIAH. Have you given this album a listen? If so, what did you think of it? Please let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.